In honor of Pride Month, I want to talk about the representation of gay characters, or more so, the lack thereof, in some of the most iconic YA dystopian books of the early 2010s and late 2000s. In the original Hunger Games trilogy, there is no mention of queerness whatsoever. However, it is briefly touched upon in the two prequels. In Ballad, Lucy Gray mentions that her cousin is seeing a girl in town, and then in Sunrise on the Reaping, Haymitch mentions that Clark Carmine is also seeing a fellow. In Sunrise on the Reaping is when we get the lore that it is illegal to be gay in Panem, which is terrifying, but we also get the detail that Haymitch is an ally, like he's cool with it. In the Divergent trilogy, no explicitly gay characters show up until book 3. We meet a new character who used to be Four's mentor in Dauntless, and he reveals that he is dating another guy, and also he used to have a crush on Tobias. Matched is an interesting one because this is a dystopian world where everybody is paired up with a person of the opposite sex who will become their husband and wife. My number one question here is, well, what if you don't like the opposite sex? And the way that it's answered here is those people just don't have matches. Like, they exist, but they just don't get to get matched. So now Delirium is even crazier because this is a dystopian universe where love is illegal, and when you turn like 16 or whatever, you get a procedure that makes you not feel love because it's seen as unnatural. But it's mentioned that same-sex attraction is even more unnatural. They segregate the girls and the boys in school before they get the procedure so they won't be tempted, and I'm like, well, what about the gay people? Legend is actually very interesting because yes, there are gay people, but I can't tell you because it's kind of a spoiler because we're not supposed to know that they're in a relationship, and I don't know if that's because they're gay or if because, you know, military stuff, but it ends up playing a really important role in the story, actually. The Darkest Minds doesn't explicitly have any queer characters, but the author, Alexander Bracken, did say on Tumblr that Ruby could definitely be considered bisexual. There are some scenes at the beginning of book 1 where Ruby has a very close friendship to this girl named Sam, and Alexander Bracken said, I definitely think Ruby could have had more of a deep love for Sam than just friendship. So it's not in the book, but the author agrees that you could certainly interpret her sexuality that way. Even though The Maze Runner is about a group of boys who are all forced into close proximity, there are no confirmed gay characters. I don't think the author ever really considered that if you put all these boys in a maze, like, something's gonna be going on. But I think a huge part of the culture surrounding The Maze Runner is the shipping of these characters. I just want to say, I do ship #NewtMiss. If you read all of these books as a teenager or as a preteen and loved them, I highly recommend the Rereading the Revolution podcast. With each episode, we revisit one of these iconic books from that era and recap it. We reread them so you don't have to. And in every episode, I will continue to ask, where are the gay people?